What up, y'all? Mr. Cruz here. Another video to touch to. What up, y'all? Mr. Cruz here with another video tutorial for BandLab. All right, guys. So for this video, being that it is an introduction, I'm just going to show you guys how you navigate around this area, and what essentially all these buttons do, and how you can kind of get familiar with this, what we're looking at here. All right, so this is what's called our sequencer. This is, I have a drum machine here, but we're not going to worry about that for now. But this is where you're going to be dropping what's called regions. And in your regions they're either going to be audio files or they're going to be MIDI files. It's essentially where you drop the stuff that you want to play, that you want to hear back. Let me move this here for a second. So starting from the top bottom, this is your undo button. This is your redo button. Obviously, that one's grayed out because I haven't done anything yet. Here is my cycle, or it's a cycle or your loop. So watch, when I click this, right, that red bar that I had here just went dim and went gray. When I click it again and it's highlighted, what this means is that this playhead right here, as it moves across, it's going to play whatever region or whatever notes I have dropped in my region. And as it goes across, once it gets to the very end, it's going to loop, or it's going to cycle all the way back to the beginning, right? So if let's say I put it here and I hit play, we're not going to hear anything because there's no audio or there's no MIDI files in here yet. But once it gets all the way to the end, it's going to jump right back to the beginning. That's what my cycle does. So if you ever find yourself getting frustrated that, like, it's not continuing or it's not being able to play whatever else you have maybe on this side, it's probably because your cycle is still on. All right, stop on that. This right here is your split playhead. Let me show you how you can add. All right, we're just going to do something kind of generic here. Let's go. Let's see. It's kind of weird. Not my thing, but let's work with it for now. So for now, I'm going to just delete this drum machine here. I'm going to show you what this... I'm going to show you what this split playhead. So what this is, whatever region you have selected and highlighted, I'm going to drag my playhead. So like, let's say I'm listening to this. All right, but let's say I don't want the whole thing. Let's say I only want half of it. I think it'd be better if we use some drums. Drums will probably be a better example. Let's go with... All right, let's go with this. All right. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to extend it so that it repeats. And then let's bring it down to make it sound a little bit better. Adjust. All right, so now I got my... All right, so I got that. And what I want to do is, let's say I only want to use the first part of this loop, right? Because this part right here that's a little bit tinted, that's a little bit faded, that's the part that's been repeating, or that is repeating. This right here that's a much brighter color, this is the part that's the original. As you saw earlier, I stretched it out from this circle arrow thing here, and I just click and drag, and it'll continually repeat. So let's say I only wanted to use half. So once I have my playhead where I want to split the region, and I have my region selected, you'll notice that it's selected because there will be a white outline around that region. I'm going to hit this button to slice at the playhead or to split it, and then bam. So now I have the first part and the second part. So I can either get rid of the second part or do whatever. But from here, I can now only repeat that first half of that region that I was working with. All right. I'm going to hit undo because I don't want to do that right now. I just wanted to show you guys how that splitting that playhead works. All right. Keep going, bam. All right, so that's where we were at. This is going all the way back to the beginning. So like these buttons should be pretty familiar to you guys that, you know, you use. If you're playing music on iTunes or Spotify, these buttons right here should be familiar. This one, record. So this, we're not going to be using too frequently. This is for when you want to record either a MIDI file or an audio file. And audio files, we're going to be using pre-recorded audio files, so we're not going to be needing that. But I will show you later on how to record MIDI files into your loops. But for now, we're not going to worry about that. So this is my time code. This just lets you know how long. If you're looking to see how long your project is, this is where you would look. And it goes minutes, seconds, and then milliseconds. So here, this is another interesting part. I think it'd be best if I brought in something. Let's see. Let's say I have this, so it's just a little chord progression. Let's see. Right over here, I hit just the mute button. That's mute, and that's solo. I hit the solo button, my mistake. So I can only hear this, and I'm not going to hear this region up here. See what it sounds like with it. Yo, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's like some Chance the Rapper type stuff. So up here, this is our key. So it says C minor. If I click it, it'll give me all the scales or all the keys that this song can play in. So if it's C minor right now, if I changed it to, let's say, B minor, what's going to happen, it says, so would you like to adjust existing regions to B minor? That means that this song, or I'm sorry, not this song, but this loop, it used to be in C minor, but now it's going to sound different because now we've changed it to B minor. So let's go back and listen to that. All right, and again, if I change it back to A minor, or sorry, to C minor, you'll hear that it sounds different. All right, so playing most rap songs are probably going to be in minor, but you can play around and, you know, mess with that however you like. This is BPM. BPM stands for beats per minute. Right now it's at 97, and that's like a fancy way of saying that, like, in if you count the ticks, so let's say I'm going to take the loops off, and I'm going to turn this metronome on. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and like you hear those little ticks each time. If I were to count it for one whole minute, I would count 97 in one single minute. That's what BPM means. But another word for that, especially if you played music before, it's called tempo. So this is how you would adjust the tempo. When you click over the letters BPM, you see how it has the up arrow and the down arrow. All you have to do is click and hold it and then drag it up or down to adjust the tempo. Now when you let go, all right, so I'm about to let go here, and it gives me this option here. It's talking about audio stretching. So what happens is if you don't audio stretch it, your initial instrument is going to sound offbeat. It's not going to play on time with those ticks that we heard from the metronome. So every time we do this, we do want to adjust the audio. All right. So now it's at 86. So let's listen to it, and I'm gonna show you what it'll sound like when you don't adjust it. Oh, I gotta hit my cycle. Let me turn my metronome off. All right, so now let's go back to, we had like somewhere 97 or something like that. So now I'm not gonna adjust it, and watch what happens. Notice how when it was adjusted, when it was originally before I changed the BPM, that the region, the end of this region lined up perfectly with the end of where I had my cycle. Now, so now it's not. So now let's see what happens when I play it again. All right. And you might not hear the difference, but if I click my metronome, right? See, it sounds off, and we don't want that. All right. So check in next time for the continuation of this video. All right. Peace.